final quarter begins right now.
And welcome to the final quarter on CBS 8+. I'm Jake Garriani. This is Karthik Venkatraman. Our John Howard enjoying a little time out there on the links this week, so it'll just be the two of us. The San Diego Padres, as we record today, have the best record in all of Major League Baseball. It has been a heck of a start to the year. They begin a 6-game road trip. Let's just get your general thoughts on this San Diego Padres start to the season.
Yeah, I think what's most impressed me is, the pitchers like Randy Vasquez, Nick Pivetta really being able to step up and perform. But it's also guys like Jose Iglesias stepping in for Jake Cronenworth, who went to the 10-day IL. You have Tyler Wade that comes out, steps into center field, provides some big, hits, runs, Oscar Gonzalez. I mean, the list goes on. You can plug and play anybody who they've just kind of, put into the lineup, whether it's injuries or, your Elias Diaz or Martin Maldonado switching off at catcher. And it seems like it's been working every single time they've done it. And for all the questions for what was the offseason and lack of offseason moves, et cetera, so on and so on, the Padres continue once again to figure it out, and once again, A.J. Preller, at least through 19 games, looking pretty darn smart, Jake.
Masterclass so far through the 19 games that A.J. Preller has pulled off. And really, I think what people, I've been talking to a lot of people around town, been on a couple radio shows, talking to fans. Everybody is buzzing about the San Diego Padres, of course, right now. There is this shared sentiment, I feel, from a lot of fans, not media members, though, that this is a bit of a house of cards, Karthik, that it could all come crumbling down because you are getting production from the guys that you mentioned, the Jose Iglesias and the other guys out there, the Elias Diaz's. But I would argue almost the opposite. I would argue that the reason they've been so successful early is that those depth guys, those role players have stepped up. Is it sustainable over 162? Probably not, but that's why you have the stars, right? That's why you have the Manny Machados, who played great in that series finale against the Cubs. And yeah, Tyler Wade got on base 4 times in that game too. You need that mixture of both. You need role players, you need stars. The Padres have gotten a lot of all of that already. So I think it's more of the success than the feeling that, oh, this is like doomsday. I think it's great that those depth pieces have really stepped up early in this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a long way of the season to go. I think we're like 1/9 of the season done right now, so there's plenty of ball left to be played in the regular season. Something like that, 1 over 8.5 or something like that. I did some number crunching of some sort a little while ago, so maybe that's the only reason why I know. But anyway, a lot of season left to go. We'll figure it out. But, as you said, man, it's just the depth pieces. You want depth to be there on your roster. What do we talk about? Every successful team that goes on to win championships, that makes deep postseason runs, they have depth. You want depth. You want different guys to be able to step up. Sustainability, that's how you're the most sustainable, when you have different guys that you can plug and play. They find a way to produce for you, and they come up with big numbers. I don't understand how anyone could criticize anything about the Padres right now. They have the best record in all of baseball, and they're playing pretty darn good. So, haters beware right now. Padres are out here, man.
And they've done it through a barrage of injuries already, which has really been that impressive part. I mean, it falls into exactly what we're talking about, that depth. But, your Jake Cronenworth's, Tatis was injured there for a game or two. I mean, a lot of Jackson Merrill, of course, on the IL. A lot of these guys, no Joe Musgrove all year, right? A lot of these guys that we were worried about, either whether it be the short-term or the long-term injury, have really had their roles filled. And people played really nicely coming in for them, a.k.a. Tyler Wade on against the Cubs in the series finale, getting on base 4 times, playing center field for Jackson Merrill. So all that has been really impressive. It also doesn't hurt, Karthik, when you have the front runner for MVP almost 20 games into the season, of course. That would be Fernando Tatis Jr., who is on an absolute tear to begin this year. And I know you made us a graphic with his career highs and also what he is on pace here in 2025. And just soak this in, folks. Now, I get a little shy for the on-pace stats. You know what I mean, Karthik? Like,
once again, we're only 1/8, 1/9 of the season
done. It's a very fun way to get hyped up for 20 games into a season. But you do kind of get a scope of what he has done early. I mean, career high at 317 back in 2019. Guys on pace for 348. OPS, 975 in 2021. Guys over 1,000 OPS on pace. 51 homers, 119. I mean, if these numbers are anywhere near what the projections will be, the Padres are going to have a heck of a season with El Nino.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, how much would you, going back to an MVP-like season like he did in 2021, contribute? I mean, NL MVP written all over it, especially if he can reach those numbers. I mean, like, those are absurd. He's right now on pace for career highs across the board, across all those numbers. I can't see one up there that that wouldn't be. And, those are over different years of his career. Obviously 2021, the most notable of Fernando Tatis' career. But, man, this guy is on a tear. If there's games that or numbers up there that I maybe be most questionable about, it might be, the games that he plays. Yeah. Does he hit 153 on pace? Obviously, or he's already missed one game, and we're 19 games into the season. We'll see how he holds up. Home runs, can he get to 50? That'll be a big question. The batting average is absolutely absurd right now. Unlikely that if he stays at that clip, that would be bonkers.
This is the issue, as I brought up, with projected stats, of course.
So you look at those numbers, like it's more a reflection of how insane he's been playing to start the season. He probably could keep up numbers. I mean, if he hits like 40 to 45 home runs this season, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. If he gets a career high in hits, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. His OPS could be over 970, which I wouldn't be really surprised by that either. I mean, some of those numbers I think he's more than capable of hitting. It's just a matter of, sustainability. We've seen so many times, whether, it's a suspension or, injuries through recent years where he's not been able to keep it all there on the field. If he's able to do it, that really is the big question for me. If he stays healthy, there's no reason why he couldn't touch most of those numbers.
Yeah, of course, the big fear with him is health, as we've talked about before. One thing I think he's done to try and stay healthier, he's changed his swing a lot. Anyone that's watched Fernando over the course of a few years has clearly seen the difference in his swing. A lot more compact, a lot less movement directly to the ball. Two-handed follow-through, which I know was a huge topic here in San Diego a few years ago with the shoulder. So if he can stay healthy, again, I don't think those numbers come to fruition, but anything near it would really be something for this team. You got the Manny Machado's playing well. You also have a guy who signed a big deal for the Padres. It was the biggest deal they did this offseason, pitching out of his mind. And in fact, I had to do a double take the other day when I looked up Nick Pavetta's stats this season.
Bonkers, man.
3-1 with a 1.57, I think to be exact, 1.5 ERA to start this year. That is just ridiculous from Pavetta. We'll talk about him a little more, but first, let's hear from him.
I think it starts, I had a conversation with Ruben, I think it starts with the guys around me, the other starters, even with Darvish, even with Joe. What they do, how they execute, how they prepare, the work in between the 5 days. I think that's what kind of is set aside and kind of allowed me to kind of be who I want to be.
It's been awesome, man. He's definitely the guy to be pitching on some day games for us and get us going, get the boys going, and it was fun to play behind him today, man. He was lights out. He was throwing the ball really well. He had all his pitches commanding, and he gave us that opportunity to go out there and get some runs on the board for him.
Manny talking about that series finale against the Cubs Wednesday. And one thing when I was out there at spring training, Karthik, that everyone who had played with Nick or knew about Nick told me, he goes, he's a bulldog. Like, this dude is just a bulldog on the mound. He gets out there every 5 days, he grabs the pearl, and he just shoves to the best of his ability. And right now, the best of his ability has been pretty unbelievable. Multiple 7-inning games, or outings rather. I mean, he has just been on fire to start this year. One of the many people that have helped this Padres get to where they are so far.
Yeah, he's really only had one not great outing this year, which was on the road against the Cubs, and 3 earned runs in 3 innings. But other than that, I think over 20 innings pitched, he's only allowed 1 run. And that's insane. That's insane.
That's goofy.
Think of 20 innings pitched, only allowed 1 run. That's as good as it gets. I mean, right now, he's also a guy setting career highs. I mean, I know he's got plenty of starts left to go, and he's only made, 4, so not even a handful yet. But in that time, as you said, 1.57 ERA. I think his whip is under 1, which is, I think, if he finishes under that, would be the first time in his career that he's ever done something like that. His ERA over the last few seasons has been like over 4 each season, and right now at 1.57, I mean, the guy is controlling his stuff. There's never, I think, been a question about Nick Pavetta and the talent that he has. He has all the talent in the world. Could he put it together? Right now, he's putting it together. He's punching out guys with strikeouts. In that City Connect Jersey game, he had like 10 strikeouts in that game, man. It's kind of what we expected with him coming into the season. If he could put it all together, he's putting it all together right now and then some. And if he continues on this trajectory, once again, I know we're early, and this, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but he's on a Cy Young conversation path the way that he's pitching right now. I mean, you guys got Hunter Green, and he's been balling right now too. So, I mean, he's going to be in the conversation if he keeps this up, though, is my point. And he's been absolutely phenomenal. A couple things. The Padres made one heck of a deal to get him in the offseason. They're only paying him $4 million this season.
That's going to go up.
Yeah, it's gonna go up in the coming years because it's a bigger deal. But just for this season, for the production they're getting out of him, that's what I would call my money's worth. And on top of that, I mean, my big question for him moving forward is Jake has a casualty of some equipment here. I think, my big thing is how is he going to continue to pitch on the road? We've seen him on one road appearance against the Cubs, and it didn't go well in his times in San Diego. He's pitched really well. So, I think that's going to be the big telltale, moving forward. He's going to pitch on the road coming up here soon in that Detroit series is the next time we'll see him on the road. So what he's able to do moving forward is the big question. Can he keep it up is the big question. But, hey, a heck of a 4 starts to begin the year.
So the Padres are on the road as we record this. They're going to play 3 games in Houston and then 3 games in Detroit. That's a tough road trip. Even though the Astros record is like 8-10, isn't really what they really are on the play, right? They're on paper 8-10, but that's a good ball club still. Padres are going to get lucky and miss Tarek Skubal in Detroit, so hopefully they can take advantage of that. But I'd like to pose the question of this, kind of one that we brought up earlier, where a lot of the fans I've talked to, and it's a little bit of San Diego nature, but they're on edge a little bit about how good this has been, right? It's almost been too good. They go, is that house of cards a true thing because of what we have talked about, because of the way Pavetta's played, because of Fernando Tatis Jr., because of the depth? I mean, look at Randy Vasquez coming out here and just absolutely twirling the pearl. Like, all these guys, will it be sustainable for the whole season, or do you feel that we're kind of flirting with the best of what the Padres have to offer too early?
You hope they're not peaking in like their first 19 games of the season. I don't know if that'll be the case. It's an ebbs and flows season, 162 games. And yeah, while they're doing this with guys out, I mean, Jackson Merrill's going to come back eventually. Jake Cronenworth's going to come back eventually. Yu Darvish is going to come back eventually. Matt Waldron's going to come back eventually. Like, these are guys that are going to kind of fill in the spots that, people are questioning about, the depth and can they consistently do this? Well, they might not have to. Like, the Kyle Harts of the world might not have to have great games when guys like Yu Darvish and Matt Waldron come back, because it's going to, once again, give you more depth. I think something that we may have not thought of because of all the drama that was the offseason. What is the depth of this team? How good are they actually? Right now, they're proving they're pretty good.
Somebody thought of it. I was beating that drum all
I was a wait and see. As a newcomer to the market, I was a wait and see. I wasn't having any sort of judgments. But with what AJ Preller's done in the past, and Jerks and Profar having a career year last year, there's no question for me of whether they could do it. It's just a matter of would they do it. Right now, they're doing it. Can they continue to do it? Only time will tell, right? But I mean, I think it's all good. Confidence is just such a beautiful thing. In baseball, you need to have confidence. In any sport, you really need to have confidence. But confidence, leadership, and accountability, all 3 things this team has right now. And when a team has all 3 of those things, I'll tell you what, whether they can keep it up or not, we'll see. But that's a hard thing to beat. Period.
And the second thing you touched on is, I think, the biggest thing, leadership, because one of the biggest changes was Mike Shildt coming into this organization, and you brought up ebbs and flows. It is baseball. It's bound to happen. They will probably have a 4, 5, 6 game losing streak at some point this season. They will probably have a rough patch, as we like to call it, right? But one thing Mike Shildt is amazing at is really being able to level the playing field. He does not let a team get too high. He does not let a team get too low, and he always instills confidence in his players. It's something he is so fantastic at. And I think that he has really changed the culture of that entire clubhouse because of that. There were times seasons ago, and I don't need to bring up the managers, everyone watching this knows, that if they hit a rough patch, that was about it. There was no pulling them up from their bootstraps like Mike Shildt knows how to do. So I think that is just key to when people worry about maybe this idea that it's going to come crashing down. Well, I think you have a leader and a manager that's not going to let it come crashing down in a disastrous way. Yes, there will be times they lose games, but I just think he is the perfect leader for this team. And you're looking at a really dangerous team. You're also looking at a really dangerous division. I mean, the top 4 teams in all of baseball as we record are in the NL West, right?
Which is going to be the other thing, right? They haven't played the Giants yet. They haven't played the Dodgers yet. We have plenty of season left to go, and all those 3 teams are going to meet up quite a bit as we go. Not to mention, the Diamondbacks are going to be a good team, and the Rockies are the Rockies. So
and the balance of the schedule so far. Let's be honest. It's been a ton of home cooking.
Yes,
the Padres have played a lot of home games. They played 6 road games.
And the Cubs are really the one formidable team I would say they've consistently played throughout the year so far.
And they're 500 on the road. This road trip will be interesting to see how they do. 6 real tough games. I'm looking forward to see if they come back above 500, at 500, because it's been a ton of home cooking. And it's been a lot of home cooking for most of the NL West. The Giants are the only ones that I think have played a lot of road games. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Padres have really stayed in California and played really well. Diamondbacks in Arizona. So they've had that home situation. So, look, baseball, the reason it's beautiful over 162 is the winners become winners and the losers become losers. There's always a weeding out process there.
So we'll see what happens. That's all I got to say. We got plenty of season left to go and plenty of games left to play, but right now the Padres looking on a good trajectory.
Let's wrap up with this. How do you feel about this road trip, these 6 games coming up in Houston and Detroit? Do you think the Padres go out there and they're back at that 500 3-3 situation? Do you think they set up better, come back over 500? What do you see this road trip being before we let everyone go?
We'll start the Houston series. I think they have a good chance of just winning that series in general. I know Houston's better than what their record says they are, but, hearing from the guys after the game against the Cubs the other day when they won 4-2, they're excited to go over to Houston and play because it's a ballpark that's favorable to hitters, and Padres have good hitters. Fernando Tatis Jr. said, hey, I'm ready to go. Small ballpark. Let me see what I can do here. Manny Machado says the ball likes to fly there. I mean, when you guys, once again, confidence going into a ballpark like that, they're feeling good about themselves. I don't know what's going to happen. I expect them to win that Houston series, though. Detroit, big time that they missed Skubal, but we'll see what the weather's like over there. I mean, I think, not playing in cold weather and not consistently, playing in a situation where, you're facing adversity in other ways other than, the nice confines of a San Diego home ball game. It adds a little adversity. So we'll see what they're able to do against the Tigers on the road if the weather's cold. We already saw them against the Cubs, and they struggled when the weather was cold and not in their favor, and it didn't really feel like they were comfortable. And Manny Machado even said, when they came back home, everything kind of hurts when you go on the road and the weather's cold and stuff like that. So, elements play into it early in the season before the summer rolls along. So, that Detroit series is not going to be easy either. They could very well come out and win the AL Central this year. So, we'll see how this all shakes out. But definitely, I think, they go win against Houston. I think they'll obviously have a good chance to go win at Detroit, that series there too. But, we'll see how it shakes out.
If you're worried about the weather, you got bigger issues in my problem.
Ball doesn't travel as well in the cold. You're
a Major League ball player. Come on. Give me a break. Let's talk about
We're all humans here, man.
Let's talk about what the real big difference is, and that's Petco Park. That's you guys at home. That's the fans that have been unbelievable this season. I mean, Petco Park has easily become the best home ballpark for home field advantage in all of Major League Baseball, and it's not even close. 47,000 on a Monday night, 41,000 on a day game on a Wednesday.
That was the crazy one, man. I was there on Wednesday, and I was like, wow, how are there so many people here?
It is honestly so impressive to see, and the fans have got to give themselves credit. I was thinking about this today before we end up here. I was thinking about how fun it is to have this cumulative effort here in San Diego to support this team and the team give it back, and it be this cyclical thing where, like, these fans show up, they rock the house, the Padres are playing great baseball, and it feels like we're in this bubble in Southern California, in San Diego, just going, yeah, this is us, this is our product, and sorry about it to the rest of MLB. This is what we do down here in Southern California, and it is so fun to see the whole town buzzing about it, everybody talking Friars. People I don't even think are baseball fans. Hey, I've heard the Friars are the best team in baseball. It is so much fun to see what has been built here and to see how the fans have given back and the team has given back. I was thinking about it today, and I go, man, this is just really fun to watch what's happening down here.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've said it before, the Padres are San Diego's team. I know we have a lot of other pro teams. We have San Diego State. We have other colleges that are, performing well. But I think for me, the big thing is that San Diego Padres is San Diego pro sports to me. Like, that is the team that everyone just really loves, is attached to, because they've been around here for a while. And, obviously, when the Chargers left and stuff like that, there was more affinity towards that team that stayed here at home and they could really pull for and root for. And I think there's just such a strong bond between the community and the team. And I think the team knows that. And the team really gets out and does grassroots types efforts, like going out with the community, before the season starts. They went out to some elementary schools. They met fans at the zoo, at parks, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is a team that's really tied into their community, and their community is really tied in with them. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Hopefully they keep it rolling on the road. 6 games. When we come back next week, we will break down that road trip and how it's going. We're here every week, of course. Thanks for being with us. That lovely man on your right will also be back next week, Mr. John Howard. So can't wait to have you back here on the final quarter on CBS 8+. All Padres today. I don't think you can talk too much Padres in this city, huh? Keep it rolling, Friars. I'm Jake Garriani. That's Karthik Venkatraman. Send him off. I got to get my phone. It took a dive.
Bye, Jake. You got to dive on the floor over there like you're stealing second, man.